so first things first, this is the maximum dimension of the space I want to use, okay? This is 24 inches from end to end and 15 inches from top to bottom. That is the maximum amount of space I'm going to use. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out the dimensions for every item that I'm going to put on top of this rack. So this is the modem right now, that's 9 inches across, 6 inches tall. And I'm going to go ahead and do that for each item that I'm going to put on top of that rack. So we have a modem, 2 different routers, and once I get all that stuff mocked up or get these little templates made from it, I'm going to go ahead and take another video and show you guys what that is. So I've got 3 pieces cut out here. It's going to be hard to see the green on green, but that is for the modem. This is for one router, and that's for a secondary router. So this system that I'm designing here is going to be kind of modular, so I'll be able to rearrange and update or upgrade as I need to when, you know, technology advances eventually. So let me show you guys what the plan is for material. All right, so the plan is, this is a piece of 1/4 inch kind of finished pine plywood. This is going to be the base, so this is what's going to mount to the wall directly. And then this is a piece of Lexan. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy our layout onto the Lexan here, and then once we get the layout on the Lexan, then we're going to drill the holes around the perimeter for mounting it to the plywood base. And once we put the items that we're going to put on the board, we're going to drill a bunch of holes across the entire sheet to allow air to flow through the Lexan. As this system kind of grows, I'm going to eventually put a series of fans on the side of it to pull air through the board out the fans, and I'll put a little duct system on it to duct the air away from the routers and the modem. All right, again, lighting is an issue here, but I don't know if you can see this, but this is the power strip right here. It's a surge protector that's got Ethernet and coaxial surge protection in it. And then here's the router, and modem. The X's mark where the power and data cords come in and out for all of these. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a relief inside the Lexan here, right along here, and possibly another one right there. So that way all the cords can run from the item behind the Lexan. And then I'll put like cable tie management around the bottom of the router and the modems, so that way you can't see the wires, and the little bit of wiring you do see is going to be run in nice clean channels. That way everything kind of cleans up the look, hide all the wires, and everything will have a nice finished return edge to all of it. So what we're going to do now is we are going to map out where the relief cuts are going to go inside of this, and then we're going to start taking the measurements on each item so we can do kind of equally spaced holes all the way down each one so the air flows properly. All right, so let me show you how I did this. Lined up the power strip or whatever item you're going to use with your outline right here. And I don't know if you can see it too well on there, but I just kind of lined it up on the corner to corner here. Take the square and put the square in the center of the hole, and then just transfer the line down, and I did the line coming across this way. And then after I did that, just flip it over again, center this up inside of your outline. Then I have a square edge over there, so I put the edge straight on that and then line it up again with the center of that line to center point here, draw the line across it, and then do the same thing, just continue the line straight to the other side. And if you would like, you could verify it by putting the controller on the other side and then measure it off the square end again. So this will be the 2 mounting holes for the power strip. And as you can see here, There is the relief cut for cords coming in from this way, relief cut for the data cable going in and out on the power strip there, coaxial coming in and out on the power strip there. This release cut will be for these two to share, and this release cut will be for these two to share. And we're going to do the same thing as we did up here, and we're going to transfer the mounting screw locations for the modem and the two routers. And then after we do that, we will go through and we will mark out the holes for each item so we get the airflow to go through the panel. Alright, so I've got the holes all marked out, and if you notice on here, you have where the screw would go in and then where the item slides to lock. So this is where the hole's going to have to be drilled for the screw. It's going to be kind of centered here and centered on that one. And then same thing, so when I put the power strip on, I'll put the power strip on and then slide it to the right, and it'll lock onto the far side of the peg hole here. Same thing, put it in here, slide it to the right, and it'll lock on the far side. The way I did this is I oriented the paper in the direction that I'm going to mount it on the wall. So it's going to be mounted up like that on the wall. The router on the top slides in and it will slide down to lock into place. Same thing for the modem. Put it in and then it will slide down to lock into place. But these two have to slide to the right, and they both lock in.
I wake up in the room where our memories start. Betray you in the dark. Like a film becomes a feature. I look for the figures, but it doesn't add up. Underneath the backlight, you're painted black and white. The love I used to hold. Details fade as I'm walking away, hiding in the shadows. Profile figure bathed in the glow, outline the shape that you pose.
Quick lesson here. Hole saw bit is a bit too aggressive for the Lexan that I picked. Had I probably gone with a thicker Lexan, it probably wouldn't have been an issue. Or if I would have used a step-up bit like I originally said. When the bit first hits, the teeth kind of cause a little bit of a crack on the Lexan, so doesn't look like it's the end of all things with this. We'll just have to kind of get creative with making it hold together. Lexan isn't exactly cheap, so I don't want to trash this and do something else. I'm just going to be a little bit more cautious moving forward to finish this off.
The shadows terrify the love I used to know. Details fade as I'm walking away, hiding in the shadows. Profile figure bathed in the glow, outline the shape that you pose. Worn out pages where I wrote your name. Now birds are...
The best way I've found to cut this is with the metal grinder, light pressure, make a lot of passes, and you see it comes out pretty nice and clean. But acrylic, like when you start to cut it, it'll melt and you get this kind of flaking. So we're gonna have to go back through with a file once we're done with all of our holes and clean up the edges. But I have kind of the fan going and air circulating in here. I don't know if I told you guys that or not, but the acrylic, once you start kind of cutting it, smells like a nail salon in here. It's a chemical, it gets hot, and it lets off a lot of fumes. So kind of be cognizant of that as you do this.
Profile figure bathed in the glow, outline the shape that you pose. Worn out pages where I wrote your name. Now blur is all that they show. Details fade as I turn from your face. Your world I will forget. You'll become a silhouette.
there's the 2 done and the 2 relief cuts. We'll knock these out and then we'll go through and sand it down. But I guess something I don't know if I made this clear. The Lexan itself has no structural value to this rack. It's just going to be kind of a backer for the modem to sit on. All the structure comes from the plywood behind it, and it's going to come from the stainless steel hardware and the spacers that are going inside of it. So this is mainly just for the aesthetic purpose of giving it a nice standoff. This is a pre-cut piece of wood. You get them on the shelf at your box store, Home Depot, Lowe's. You get them in 2x2s like this is. You can get in a 2x4. You can get a full sheet, and if you have some like oddball cut, it's typically easier and probably a lot safer to have them cut it on that big saw to get you to a workable material size if you don't have somebody to help you, or if you don't have like an outfeed table for your circular saw or your table saw. It's hard to try to fight a full sheet of plywood through a table saw, so always try to get it in a workable size. Now, we're going to cut this down, but if you can take out the factor for error, do it. So, I've already made the measurement one time on the dimensions I need this cut to. So rather than make it again and take the chance of being off in my measurement, I'll set the fence, lock the fence in. I'll set the blade to my height, and I know I need that ripped to the same size as this. So I'll set it tight to the fence, tight to the blade. We'll lock it in, and it's not super tight. I mean, it's got a little bit of play to it because the saw blade has got a little bit of rip to it. Set your depth. I don't go much more than 1/8 of an inch above the material for the height of the blade. It's kind of a safety thing. Never stand directly behind your saw blade either. Plenty of videos about that. Alright, so it's done cutting now, so I turned it off. I don't like to pull my material back across the saw, especially not while it's running. So the battery died on the camera in the garage. I'm going to post a couple pictures at the end of the video here of what the modem rack looks like when it's completed. I frosted the back of the Lexan with a glow-in-the-dark green paint. Otherwise, like, comment, share, subscribe.
Until next time, keep your chin up, drive on.